It now appears that the belief in a worldwide flood is backed up by science, much better than what we have been told for the last few decades, and that the Earth is much younger than we have been told. If this is the case, as shown with carbon-14 tests, then it would make sense that dinosaurs and humans have lived together up until just recently. Or maybe they still do in some cases. So, rather than humans living with dinosaurs in ages past, is it possible that dinosaurs have lived with us in very recent history? Let's take a look. If we take a look at history, we will discover accounts of man dealing with dragons. Today, these creatures are called dinosaurs. Both dragons and dinosaurs simply mean large reptiles. If we go back into historical accounts, such as the Book of Job in the Old Testament, there is a perfect description of a brontosaurus-like creature. Accounts of knights killing dragons and very large beasts are not uncommon in the Middle Ages. There are even some pictures of these encounters with dinosaurs drawn by artists. Some of these artists' renditions of these beasts look like dinosaurs that have been discovered in the last 150 years. So the question arises, why have the dinosaurs disappeared if they have lived with humans up until the last few hundred years? The answer is twofold. Number one, as previously mentioned, humans have killed many of them. But number two, the lungs of these creatures are generally very small for their body size. It has been shown by some scientific evidence that the atmospheric pressure was higher in the past with a much greater oxygen content. So, as this change to the atmosphere that we have today, that is, following the flood, plus a huge decrease in oxygen, dinosaurs in general would have had a much more difficult time getting the amount of oxygen needed to live. Does this mean that there are no dinosaurs left alive on Earth today? Not necessarily. It is no secret that crocodiles and alligators are considered to be so-called leftovers from the dinosaur age. They are pretty much the same, except possibly for size, they'd be smaller today in general. There have been literally dozens of sightings of dinosaur-like water creatures in many lakes around the world, including, yes, the Loch Ness Monster. Another dinosaur that has been reported by those that live in the Congo is called the Mbembe. The meaning is one who stops the flow of rivers. This dinosaur has been sighted a number of years ago, numerous times in the Lukula swamp region of the Congo. The dinosaur is consistently described by the natives to look like a sauropod-type dinosaur. There have actually been a number of sightings of dinosaurs over the last 1.5 centuries. Carl Baugh, in his book Against All Odds, shows a number of pictures of artifacts that have pictures of dragons/dinosaurs on them. These artifacts were made about 1,300 years ago. Out of all of the 1,100 Inca burial stones discovered over the last few decades, that is, since the 1930s, almost 1/3 of them have historically accurate images of dinosaurs. These include Triceratops, Stegosaurus, and Pterosaurs. The other burial stones seem to depict other real-life experiences of the Incas. These burial stones were made hundreds of years before modern man even knew about dinosaurs. In North America, the Grand Canyon, it has a drawing of what looks like a dinosaur. Stories and pictures of dragons are numerous in ancient China and in the Far East. Soft tissue has been discovered in dinosaur fossils. Why is this significant? Because scientists have agreed that soft tissue can exist for thousands of years, but not millions considering the present rate of decay. This has been the consensus until the discovery of soft tissue in dinosaurs was made. That would mean that these dinosaur fossils cannot be tens of millions of years old, as we have been told. They were supposed to be at least 65 million years old. The study of this soft tissue found in a bone of the T-Rex was harshly criticized by many, that is, evolutionary scientists. Why? Because their entire theory was at stake. Some of them said that the study by biologist Mary Schweitzer had compromised the specimens that were used. They proclaimed that the soft tissue could have been from bacteria, that is, biofilms. She later did another study on the soft tissue of another dinosaur fossil. That was a duck-billed dinosaur called a hadrosaur. She took great care to handle everything in such a way so that it could never be said that anything had been contaminated. The results were staggering. Here's what she found. Collagen, elastin, laminin, and structures incredibly resembling the cells of both blood and bone. None of them were fossilized. These simply could not last a million years, much less 65 million or more. It has appeared that this one discovery alone seemed to cause the whole evolutionary theory to go up in a puff of smoke. Carbon-14 tests have been positive when applied to 4 separate dinosaurs. This method of testing limits the age to thousands of years, that is about 50,000 years. This is just a tiny fraction of the 65 million or more years that are given to the age of dinosaurs. So these results of the tests of the dinosaur bones show that these dinosaurs lived just thousands of years ago, not tens of millions. The evidence seems to be overwhelming that humans have lived with dinosaurs. First, there have been numerous drawings of dinosaurs dating back hundreds of years. Next, there have been numerous references to dinosaurs, called dragons at that time, throughout much of history. Next, there have been abundant human fossil footprints that have been found in many locations that were in the same layers of the so-called dinosaur age. Fossilized human footprints have crossed dinosaur footprints. Human footprints have been found inside of dinosaur footprints. Human fossils and artifacts have been found in every layer of rock, including those that dinosaurs lived in. And of course, the fact that soft tissue has been discovered in dinosaur fossils. And most importantly, the carbon-14 tests that have shown that dinosaurs are just thousands of years old, not tens of millions. Scientist Paul Giam stated the problem concisely. Quote, given the short carbon-14 half-life of 1730 years, organic materials reportedly older than 100,000 years, nearly 18 half-lives, should contain absolutely no detectable carbon-14. However, coal, diamonds, and even dinosaur bones contain plenty of carbon-14. End of quote. That would mean only thousands of years and not nearly enough time for any evolution to take place. So have humans and dinosaurs lived together? History, fossils, soft tissue, carvings, drawings, carbon-14 tests, and even recent sightings tend to give overwhelming evidence that these giant creatures may still exist, or at least existed on Earth in the last few thousand years.